I'm talking here with Anant from Brazil. Tell us how you first got involved with Ananta Marga.
June of '85 in a alternative community of the Hare Krishna people. So there I came to know a lot of alternative education, alternative agriculture, alternative medicine, and then there was but I could not attend the whole program. There were several days. I had to come back in Sunday and the program would go a few days more. But then the last talk that I participated was one monk, Ananda Marga monk, talking about meditation. And then it was the last thing. So as soon as it finished the talk, I went to talk to this Dada Satyananda. Next day in the morning, there will be a collective meditation. You know, if people would like to participate. And then after he finished his talk, I went to talk to him and asked if the meditation could also be individual, because I would not be present next morning. I had to leave before. And then said no. The meditation, it's individual. And he asked if then I asked, I would like to learn. And then he said, well, okay. So you know where we are? We have a tent where there is a Volkswagen, a Kombi, Volkswagen. There, you know. And then I have seen one tent with one Kombi. And I said, yeah, no, I know. So I prepare everything and then went to this tent, you know, and I started waiting for the acharya. And the acharya would not come up. And then I waited for a long time. Then I asked the neighbors if they knew if the acharya was there in the tent. And he said, no, there's no acharya. There's a couple that is in the tent. There's acharya is another tent, far away, further. But then it was becoming night, you know, and I didn't have more time. And I had to go. And I was frustrated because, you know, I want so much to get initiation and nothing, and I couldn't get initiated. But then I thought, well, the year before, also they have this program with another alternative community, another state, and then they showed in a newspaper, alternative newspaper, they showed some pictures of, you know, of people, of the talks and described some things, one special issue. So this came to my mind. Oh, for certain they will publish, you know, this issue again. And but the thing is, I didn't know what the organization, the name of the organization. I didn't know anything. I only knew it was about meditation. So I waited. This was in June. I waited. And then in September came up this issue, the special newspaper edition. But didn't say anything about the meditation, didn't talk about the dada. And then I got frustrated. But then in the following month, I was there in the shop, and I was about to close when one person wanted to put some pamphlet in the door, of the shop. But so I asked to see, what he was going to, what he wanted to put there. And when he showed me the pamphlet, there was a picture of Dada. He would give a talk at the university in Rio. And then I was so surprised. And then I asked the Marge, was Givesh from Rio. I told him the story, and I asked him, if I want to meet this monk. And he said, well, he will come tomorrow. He will come and he will stay in my apartment. I said, oh, where do you live? I said, oh, I just live nearby, two blocks from here. And then I went there, and Dada Nitya was alone when he opened the door, and he said, wow, you took so long. And then I got the initiation there.
So tell us about your meetings with Baba.
Well, at the time, I didn't know there was a group in Rio that they had a group of Margis. I didn't know there was a Jagrit in Rio. In fact, there was no Jagrit at this time. No, people once a week they get together at one school. Then one room they would get prepare everything to do sadhana, and then put everything back in place. And I came to know through one of the customer. She saw this pamphlet in the door, and then she came to me and said, no, I am Margie, I participate of this movement. And then she told me there was this group that would do sadhana once a week. Then I went there and I started doing sadhana, and then and from this on, then this Acharya, Dada Nitya, he stayed in São Paulo, but sometimes, I think once a month or once every 2 months, he would go to Rio to do some prachar, and then he would stay with me in my apartment for a few days. And then one time we were talking, and he said, oh, Baba now started to give personal contact. During a long time, he didn't do personal contact. Now he started to do again. So it's a good opportunity for you to have personal contact with Baba.
What year?
This was in 1986. And then he said he was going at the end of the year, in December, he was going to India. And if I wanted, we could go together. So I arranged to get the ticket, and then we went in earlier December. We went to India and to Calcutta. And then Dada said, "Oh, you have to go earlier. Don't wait until the end of the month, because then many Margas will come and it will be more difficult to have contact." So we got there. I think it was not even half. I think it was 14th of December, or even less. And then he talked to some acharyas there and said, "Oh, you have to go there, to Lake Gardens, and wait to see if Baba would give personal contact. So for a few days, I went there in the morning, I waited the whole day, and then there was no contact. And then again, next day, I went there, there's no contact. And then I think for the third or fourth day, then I said, wow, every day I come, there's no, because there are so many people now, acharyas, LFTs that Baba was receiving, acharyas from outside, acharya from India, from Eastern India, acharya from this, and and there was no time. And then I said, well, Baba don't give me PC, I will fast until Baba give me PC. And then I used to fast, once a week. And then the first day was nice, but then that day there was no contact. And then so, wow, now what am I going to do? I never fast 2 days. I don't think I'll be able to spend another day without eating or drinking. But I had promised, so I have to do it. So I went there in the morning, and I waited, and then when I said, oh look, Baba will give, I think this morning Baba will give PC. And I said, oh, very good, very good. But then morning went, and nothing happened. And then I was feeling, very weak, but still fasting. And then I said, no, I gave the word. Now I have to, to abide. And then just after lunch, the dada came and said, look, you guys get ready, because Baba will give in a few minutes. He'll give personal contact. Then I think we're 7 or 8 of us. Now there was some Italian Margis, some German, some U.S. Margis. There was one Margi from Taiwan, one Margi from I think Argentina, and myself. And then when came my time to go in the room, Dada opened the door and called me, and I did Sastang Prana, and I sat a little further from Baba, and then Baba said, no, you come near. I got very near Baba, and I closed my eyes, and then opened the eyes, and Baba was with his eyes closed. And then he said, well, you are so young. Then he asked the traditional, questions, what was my name, where I was from, who was my acharya, what city I was from. And then he closed his eyes and said, you are so young and have done so many wrong things. And then I closed my eyes and turned my head down, and Baba said, do you want to be a good boy? And I said, yes, Baba. And then Baba said, come near. And then I got very near him. My face was almost touching his arm. I could smell, one perfume that came. It was not from his clothes. It was from his skin, And then he asked. He put his hands like this in me, and recited some mantras. that I could not recall. And then only Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And from then on, when I come back to Brazil, I knew I was not the same. Something had changed inside me. And then I was doing more work. I was doing yoga classes to help the Jagriti, and I had social service. You know, and then was when I came to know this idea of a master unit. And for me, I was living in Rio at this time, and I was about I was thinking of leaving Rio, go to a smaller city in the countryside. And then for me, this idea was that's all I wanted is to go out of Rio and now live in a countryside and in a community with Margis and to develop projects. So that's why I came. When I came back, when I left the airport, they put in the blacklist because they searched my things. I had bought many books, and even though I had bought books from other organizations also, but then they put in the blacklist, and then I couldn't go. In May of 1988, I went again, but this time I could not go directly to India. I went to Nepal by plane, and then I took a bus to go to India. And then we entered India, was like 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 to 6 o'clock in the morning, very early. And but I had no visa, no. But then someone said, no, you go to Nepal and you get a visa in Nepal. But I went to Nepal, I didn't get visa in Nepal. So, but I had the stamped the visa from 1986. So one Margaret, friend of mine, he got a pen, and from the 6 he made an 8. And it was December of 86, so it was December of 1988, and I had 6 months visa, and we were in May, so I could still the visa was valid, and but also this Margaret, he had to cut 1 page of the passport because they had stamped, the India embassy he stamped visa asked for. They didn't give, but they stamped visa asked for. They didn't negate the visa, but they put visa asked for, and this was for the people of the consular. They knew that the visa was not given, was only asked for. So this friend, this Margie, he cut his page of my passport. But I could not go by plane, only by bus. Then I went to this frontier from with India in Nepal very early. And this was instructions of Dada Dharma Devananda, instructed to do this, go very early, because then there's just a few people, no? And then when I got there to get the stamp, the visa, the guards were just had waken up, and then the moment I showed the passport, one man came into this office. He was like from a group. He was like some religious group, and he offered to put this paint here. If I contributed, with him. So I said okay. So I contributed. So the guards, instead of looking at the passport, were looking my interaction with this man. And then the man, they put the wrist here, and they said that they didn't pay attention to the passport, so they were just looking. And then when I came, they just closed the passport and gave to me. And then I was waiting just in front. I was waiting because the first bus was at only 8 o'clock. And then at 7 o'clock came another bus from Nepal, this time with many other tourists, students from Eastern countries. And I saw the treatment these guards gave to these people. I was shocked. They yelled at these people. They grabbed their passports. People were crying. And then I realized that Baba had sent this man to entertain them, to give the visa,
Beautiful.
And then I saw Baba again, at this time. And then I said, well, now if I can, every year I will come to see Baba. And then I made a promise that at the end of 1989 I would go again to India. But Baba left the body in October.